Do you need expensive lenses for client work? Let me show you the lenses that I use on a day-to-day basis. There's 4 of them. One's really a bonus. Like, I actually use 3 pretty consistently. This is my take on if you need expensive glass to make money in this industry. This video is sponsored by Professional Photographers of America. Join a community of over 33,000 photographers and find equipment insurance, education, and business tools made specifically for small business owners like you. I should get a studio. Lens number 1, one of my faves, is the Sigma 24-70 2.8. This thing will cost you $1,100. I'm shooting on the Sony a7 IV. The comparative Sony version of this lens, the 24-70 2.8 from Sony, is $1,998. First things first, let's get that out of the way. Like, I'm not saying $1,100 is not expensive. That is expensive. But relative to sort of the comparable other prices you could pay, it's less expensive. Does this video concept make sense? I think so. I think you're tracking with me, okay? Let's keep it going. Now you pull out this lens in front of a client. Are they gonna think anything less of you, like just looking at this thing? No. Performance aside, this lens looks great. This looks and feels and is a great lens. Performance-wise, color-wise, when you get photos from this thing into the edit, you're happy with them, and your clients are definitely happy with them. Your clients have no idea whether you used a Sigma or a Sony to shoot their photos. They just care about really like their performance. They care about, does it match the brand? Is this what we wanted? For all of these, if you have good portfolio material that you created using these lenses that were somewhat less expensive, you're giving the clients what you showed them you were going to be able to give them. I feel like you might know the answer to the question posed at the beginning of this video, but let's keep going. Let's just embrace the cold on this one. Then I'll feel like warmer for the next one when I put this back on. You know what I'm saying? See what I did there? Next up, we've got the Tamron 70-180. So the comparable Sony version of this puppy is the Sony 70-200. So there's where you're seeing your first sort of performance issue. You're losing 20 millimeters at the long range if you opt for this lens. That said, this thing's gonna cost you $1,100. The Sony 70-200 is gonna cost you $2,300. So considerable savings again on this one. I saw a really good video comparison when it comes to the performance difference. When you're shooting a very far away subject, like let's say a cityscape or whatever, that extra 20 millimeters at the end is gonna make a big difference. You're gonna have to do a considerable amount of cropping in order to match the frame. If you're shooting a subject that's a little bit closer up, like that 20 millimeters, you can cover that ground in about 2 steps closer. So you definitely need to take into consideration what you're capturing, like what your main subjects are. This lens does have a significantly cheaper look than the Sony version. Again, is it something that clients are gonna be like, oh, bro's using plastic lenses? Probably not, but definitely much more of a noticeable difference in the aesthetic look of how this thing looks on your camera. But do we care how it looks on the camera? No, we don't, all right? We're just gonna get over that right now. Like, you take this lens and you go create amazing looking content for your clients and like, just forget about it. Tamron 17-28, okay? This is the lens that stays on my camera most of the time. Wide to narrow with the 33 megapixels of the a7 IV, you can punch in, get something more like a 50 millimeter. Now, when you compare this to the Sony version, again, you're getting a bit of a performance break, which the Sony is 16-35, so slightly wider with the Sony, and then an extra 7 millimeters at the long range, so considerable performance increase on the Sony version. Price-wise, this thing's $800, the Sony version is $2,200, so considerable savings on this puppy. Again, has a plastic look, has a plastic feel, but it is significantly smaller than and lighter than the Sony equivalent. So all sort of trade-offs. If there were one lens where I would say like I'd consider splurging and going for the much more expensive version, it would probably be this one. When it comes to what the client sees, what the client expects, your ability to make money working in this industry, doing client work, no, I don't think it matters at all. But I do think if you wanted to opt for the 16-35 in this case, spend the extra money, which is like more than twice as much, almost 3 times as much I think you can make the argument for it. Well, if this isn't 10,000 times better, I don't know what is. Let me tell you about the sponsor of this video, Professional Photographers of America. PPA is a nonprofit with a bunch of unbeatable benefits for photographers, as you might imagine. When it comes to insurance, you get $15,000 worth of photo care insurance for your gear and equipment. There's a flat $350 deductible for equipment replacement, or you can get your equipment repaired for a flat $50 deductible. There's also these data loss prevention services, and so that includes recovery software to be able to get your photos back if that's possible, and also even helps with legal fees if you have an unhappy client. When it comes to the educational platform, there's more than 900 videos on there to help you grow your business, and all of that is covered under the monthly membership cost, which is $27.92 a month. Take a look at the description, use the code for a discount on your membership. Whether you're just starting out or you've been at this for a while, don't go it alone. Join over 33,000 photographers. Let's get this thing together. Come on. Last lens I want to tell you about is this Pentax 50mm. All right, this is a manual focus lens, manual aperture lens. Don't sleep on the vintage stuff. You can pick one of these up, plus the adapter for about $100 on eBay. It's not really fair to try to compare this to 50mm Sony glass. They're just completely different things, like no autofocus. This has like a really interesting lens flare look. Just completely different stuff, but you can get a really interesting, unique, and kind of almost like specific to you look and style, and something that clients can actually identify and say like, wow, Cody has this specific look that we're going for. We should call him again for this project, or whatever that is. So don't sleep on vintage glass. There's something very beautiful about manual focus, soft focus that kind of can come with that by accident. Get it on your camera, practice with it, have fun with it. It's similar to driving a manual transmission car. Like, you feel a little bit more connected to your camera when you're using a vintage lens, because like you're in control of so much more. I don't know, is that getting too deep? Is that too deep for you? I'm not sure. Hit the link in the description, check out Professional Photographers of America. Thanks for being here. Go out there and make some amazing stuff, okay? Sorry if I look like a cat burglar. It's like it got very freezing cold. What's that? Oh, I'm making a video. Yeah, for YouTube. All about like cameras and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.